So just briefly, what the review panel would like to see happen, I mean, there's hundreds of recommendations that are yet to be endorsed or implemented, but the Act should have primacy over competing legislation. And this is what we were speaking to before. The Biodiversity Conservation Act should have primacy before any planning or any other economic or any other developmental laws. It should come number one. We're talking about protecting and preserving the lives of threatened plants and animals that won't exist in the future. They're having enough trouble adapting to climate change
now,
let alone urban development, highways, agriculture, pollution, all those factors. The other thing it says is Aboriginal people should be fully involved in every aspect of this process in the design and implementation of the Biodiversity Conservation Act and the protection and preservation of culture, but also ecologically all the ecosystems. More needs to be done to expand the credit supply by assisting landholders to enter into biodiversity stewardship agreements and giving credit value to restoring sites and protecting connected sites. And that goes to the biodiversity offset scheme. Action should be taken to reduce the demand for credits through giving greater primacy to avoiding and minimising impacts, adjusting thresholds for smaller developments and special measures to deal with very large projects to avoid crowding out the credit market. The focus of the Act should be shifted from threatened entities to strategic planning and management of biodiversity to ensure nature-positive outcomes. All citizens should have confidence in the integrity of the programs administered under the Act, and we don't have confidence. This isn't just happening in Wallum, this is happening up and down the coast. There are numerous small coastal communities that are getting inundated with inappropriate developments on sensitive, critically endangered habitat that can't handle developments like this.
And a lot of them are on coastal zones, so that's the zombie GAs that we were talking about before, and that term is now quite widely accepted as referring to development applications that were approved prior to the changes in New South Wales legislation that came into effect in 2017. And we've looked into a number of them. There is a few articles you can find online. There's dozens and dozens of them. No one knows exactly how many, I don't think, because they come at different council jurisdiction. Most of them are in the coastal zone, and because of the housing crisis we're facing at the moment, these old developments that might have been half signed off on somewhere back in the past now have a much greater economic value than they did previously, potentially, as subdivisions, even though they're in climate change vulnerable landscapes. And so they're being reinvigorated right across New South Wales, and New South Wales is the only state in Australia to allow this to happen. A number of times governments have tried to intervene and put a 5-year cap on that planning process. It's complicated, but the Director General reports that we were talking about earlier, they're supposed to expire after 2 years. This development had 3 goes at that.